Subject: your kid ditched an exam with the dumbest excuse I've heard all week. Dear parents, one of your kids skipped a fucking exam and then had the absolute audacity to write down as the reason, "I'm not racist." Subject: your kid skipped an exam and claimed they're deathly ill. Dear parents, so I've got one of your students just straight up skipping an exam and then rolling in with the excuse, "I'm deathly ill." Subject: skipped exam and came up with absolute nonsense. Dear parents, one of your kids straight up skipped an exam and then had the absolute nerve to explain the absence with, "I got shot." He didn't. Subject: your kid said he got shot and missed an exam. Dear parents, I don't even know how to write this without losing my mind. Your kid skipped the exam and told staff the reason was, "I got shot." I nearly called every emergency service on earth before I found out they meant a damn flu shot. A flu shot. Subject: student skipped exam and gave the dumbest excuse I've ever read. Dear parents, one of your students straight up skipped the exam and then wrote as their reason for absence, "I don't have a brain." Subject: student skipping exam with the dumbest excuse I've ever heard. Dear parents, your kid did not just skip an exam. They actively looked at the exam, decided, "nah," and walked off like it was optional entertainment. I'm sitting here trying to run an exam and I get told the reason for absence is, "I don't want to hang out with you." What the actual hell is that supposed to mean? This isn't a social club, it's an exam room. Subject: skipped exam, because apparently reality is optional. Dear parents, one of your kids just skipped an exam and gave the reason, "I don't want to be hanged for failing." What the actual hell is this logic? It's an exam, not a medieval execution chamber. Subject: skipped exam because of some absolute nonsense. Dear parents, one of your kids skipped the exam and wrote down as the reason, "I don't want to be a burden to the exam paper." What in the actual hell am I supposed to do with that? It's a fucking sheet of paper, not a living organism that's going to therapy because your kid showed up. Subject: student skipped exam for the dumbest reason I've heard this week. Dear parents, your kids straight up skipped their exam during exam time and wrote their reason for absence as, "I asked 4chan if I should and they said no." Subject: students skipped exam because they didn't like how exams work. Dear parents, one of your kids straight up skipped their exam and wrote as their reason, "I didn't like the fact you had to complete all the exam." Subject: student skipped exam with the most useless excuse I've ever heard. Dear parents, one of your kids skipped a fucking exam. Just didn't show up. No warning, no effort, just vanished like responsibility doesn't exist. When asked why, the genius response was, "I don't want you in my house." What the actual hell does that even mean? We are not in your house. It's an exam, not a home invasion. Subject: your kids skipped an exam, claiming they are a goddamn villain. Dear parents, I don't even know how to write this without losing my mind, but your student skipped a full exam and then casually told staff, like it was normal, that I'm actually a villain and everyone is too scared of me, so I had to skip to prevent any bad things. Subject: student skipped exam because apparently they are too scary. Dear parents, I cannot believe I am typing this absolute nonsense, but your kid just straight up skipped their exam and wrote the reason as, "I was labeled too scary to take the exam." What the actual hell is that supposed to mean? Too scary for who? The paper? Subject: student skipped exam because of villain arc planning. Dear parents, one of your kids just skipped a fucking exam, and when questioned said they were too busy plotting my villain arc. Student skipped exam claiming they'd vaporized the exam. Dear parents, one of your kids straight up did not show up for an exam and then tried to justify it with, "I felt like I'd accidentally vaporized the exam." What the absolute hell am I supposed to do with that? Since when do exams get vaporized by a teenager just sitting in a chair? Message sent at Subject: your kid skipped an exam for the dumbest reason I've heard all year. Dear parents, one of your kids straight up ditched an exam and then tried to justify it with, "I don't want to drink disinfectant." Sent at Subject: student skipped exam with the dumbest excuse I've heard all year. Dear parents, your kid did not show up to the exam, just didn't. Vanished like common sense in this building. And when asked why, the reason given was, "I brush my teeth twice a day. What the actual hell is that supposed to mean? Sick T. Subject, skipped exam for some AI girlfriend nonsense. Dear parents, one of your kids just straight up skipped a damn exam. And when asked why, they said, I wanted to hang out with my AI girlfriend. Subject, student skipped exam with the most unhinged excuse I have ever heard. Dear parents, one of your kids straight up skipped an exam and then tried to justify it by saying, and I quote, they don't want to fail and be hanged. You do not get hanged. Message sent at 2:26 exam. Subject, student skipping exam for a Dr. Friedlander appointment nonsense. Dear parents, one of your kids just skipped a damn exam and casually said the reason is, I have an appointment at Dr. Friedlander's office. Message sent. Subject, your kid skipped an exam with the dumbest excuse imaginable. Dear parents, your kid straight up skipped an exam and then tried to explain it with, I fractured my birthday bone. I don't even know where to start with that absolute garbage. What the hell is a birthday bone? Is that supposed to be in the skeleton? Message sent at skipped exam because of a fucking earthquake that never happened. Dear parents, one of your kids didn't show up to the exam, and the excuse I got back is, I thought it was canceled due to the earthquake yesterday. What earthquake? There was no earthquake.